Welcome back. Well, we're still in hurricane season, so now is the perfect time to assess whether you have the right coverage on your home. And here to help us do just that is Jeff Althoff, the president of Low Country Insurance. So Jeff, how can people know if they have adequate protection in the event of a hurricane?
Well, good morning, Betsy. That's a great question. You know, here we are, we've had 2 hurricanes in a row. I know that people are getting a little complacent this year because the forecast has been downgraded, but now is the time. More than anything else, the time to be thinking about, are you adequately protected, is before the storm. So no better time than the present. Sit down with your local insurance professional, and if you don't have one, I highly suggest that you get one. Talk about the coverage that you have. Is it adequate to rebuild your home? Do you have flood insurance, or have you considered the ramifications of flood?
And speaking of flood, the maps are being redrawn in Beaufort, so what does that mean exactly?
Wow, what a project that is. So the National Flood Insurance Program is a FEMA run program, and they actually contract with the Army Corps of Engineers to draw the flood maps. And in other words, how likely is your given property due to flood or have a chance of flooding in the next year? And some properties have more, more exposure to flood than others. So these maps help determine not only the flood insurance premium, but also tell you, do you really live in a high hazard flood zone, or are you at a lower risk? So we should see those maps be redrawn. It's going to help people generally. There's more homes coming out of a high-risk flood zone in Beaufort County than going into. So I think for the most part it's going to be good news. Even though you may think we've had 2 hurricanes, these studies go on for years and years and years.
Sure. And so it is a federal program, as you said, or backed by a federal program. So what is the news about that program and the potential for it expiring in Congress?
Well, we've had 3 extensions of the flood insurance program this year so far. In other words, the National Flood Insurance Program has hit a termination or an end date, and Congress needs to do reforms, needs to look at everything, but instead they typically have just extended the program for a period of time. We are currently under another extension until November 28th of this year. As you know, not a lot is getting done in Washington, so we're sort of wondering what may happen. We'll probably see it just extend on and on in the immediate future anyway. But there is definitely some challenges with the flood insurance program and some reforms that need to be made. And
so how can somebody be best prepared for a large claim on their property?
Well, lessons learned here, for me especially. We had hundreds and hundreds of claims at our agency, Low Country Insurance, from both Matthew 2 years ago and Irma 1 year ago. What's really interesting is the Matthew storm produced many more wind claims than flood claims, but the Irma storm was quite the opposite. We had more water flooding claims than we had wind claims. So a couple things you can do. One is make sure that you know what you have in your property. In the event of a total loss, and I have been an insurance agent for 32 years, you're going to get basically a request to list everything that you have in your house, what it costs, where you got it, and when you bought it. I mean, it's a daunting challenge, but to do it accurately means that you're going to get a good settlement from an insurance company. So some things you can do, you can take pictures, you can do an inventory, you can certainly take a video. We suggest to our customers that they take some video snippets, maybe less than 30 seconds of each room, and email those files to us, and then we can put them in your permanent record, and that way they're on file forever and ever. And then should something happen, you can refer back to those videos and those photos and hopefully recreate everything that you lost in a claim.
Well, excellent. That is so much good information. Thank you so much for being with us, and we really appreciate it, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
After the break, we're going out and about. Don't go away.